I'll be taking a look at Ducktales issue 3. So far, the Ducktales series has been pretty good so far, and I'll be interested to see if it can keep up its level of quality. Brandon Montclair is the writer, Tommaso Ronda is the artist, and the cover is done by Ivan Brigarella. So we start off with actually a cold open as Scrooge is being forced to empty his pockets, the Duckburg City Jail. This is also where we get the title for this issue, which is the full thing is DuckTales, starring Uncle Scrooge with Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Four Corners of Your World, Part 3, The Duckburg Clink, where Scrooge is now in jail with the Beagle Boys, Big Time, Baggy, and Burger. And then we flash back to earlier that night as Uncle Scrooge, Huey, Dewey, and Louie are exploring the Graven Caverns, which is a mile away from the Duckburg City Jail. As Scrooge explains that he was very close to owning the caverns, but Glongold ended up getting them. First of multiple flashbacks mini-stories, Uncle Scrooge in Business Ethics, as we see Uncle Scrooge and Flintheart Glongold in a business meeting, as Glongold is doing his best to get under Scrooge's skin, which isn't working. Scrooge loses cool by calling him Ganglin Dark, which actually does a pretty cool thing of Scrooge jumping through his panel to get to Flintheart Glongold, who's in the other panel. We also see that Flintheart is talking in Scottish, and then we flash back to them being in the caves as we get a 2-page spread. On one page, it's Scrooge, Huey, Dewey, and Louie making their way through the cavern, while on the other page, coming from the other side, it's Ma Beagle and the Beagle Boys making their way through the cavern on a collision course with Scrooge and the boys. Eventually, they ended up coming across each other, but after a bit of arguing, the cave starts to become unstable, and Scrooge ends up saving the Beagles, but getting trapped with them on the other side, while Ma Beagle is trapped with Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And then we ended up getting our second retro style story called Uncle Scrooge, A Jaded Point of View. Uncle Scrooge is attempting to purchase a jaded dragon when he's interrupted by Flintheart Glomgold and some assassins, which Scrooge ends up fighting off the two ninja assassins and defeating Flintheart quite handily. Now we're in the present as Uncle Scrooge is being thrown in jail with the Beagle Boys, and now Ma Beagle is with Huey, Dewey, and Louie, trying to convince them to leave Uncle Scrooge and the Beagle Boys behind and go with her. But after some quick thinking, Huey, Dewey, and Louie come up with a plan to convince Ma Beagle that it's in their best interest to turn themselves in. Huey, Dewey, and Louie, they think that they fooled Ma Beagle, and that's why she's going along with their plan. But in actuality, she saw right through their plan, but is going along with it because Huey, Dewey, and Louie's deceitfulness reminds her of her boys. Scrooge is now, after getting tired of moping around watching the other prisoners break rocks, Scrooge decides that if he's gonna be in prison, he's gonna be the best. So he finds the biggest rock in the yard and just demolishes it with one big swing, which earns him compliments from the other prisoners, as well as also from Big Time, Baggy, and Burger. When he's then reunited with Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Ma Beagle gets handed over, and Scrooge is now... And it turns out the rock he smashed was full of jade, which instead of keeping it for himself, Scrooge tells Officer Perolsky that the jade should be given to the prisoners to allow them to pay off their debt to society. And now that he has his personal effects back, that had been taken away at the beginning of the comic, as Scrooge, Huey, Dewey, and Louie leave the prison with Uncle Scrooge's map to go to the next destination, which will be, in the next issue, the Duckburg Public Library. As we get a tease that Launchpad McQuack will be in the next issue, as well as also teasing more about at the Duckburg Public Library. And that's how the comic ends. My overall thoughts are that this is a really good issue, has a good blend of a lot of the adventuring that DuckTales was known for, as well as also some of the slice of life elements as well. To really like the retro mini stories that done in the old Carl Barks style. As well as also, this comic definitely is more jam-packed narratively compared to a lot of the other comics that Dynamite has done, with the Disney Afternoon IP, with the starting with the cold open and then flashing back and then the flashing forward, and then also, as well as also including the retro style stories that also work as additional even farther back flashbacks. It also has a very Ducktales style ending where Scrooge doesn't get the treasure in the end, but he ends up helping other people instead. The art is also fantastic all throughout with some really cool posing as well as also some really cool panel layouts. My only really complaint is really a carryover from the previous issues, which is to add more of the Uncle Scrooge and to add more of Uncle Scrooge Scottish sayings, as well as also Scottish turns of phrase that he would use a lot in the original show, as well as also for the boys to sound a little bit more like how they did in the original show. And when it came to the Beagle Boys, visually you can tell them apart, but Big Time didn't sound like Big Time, Baggy didn't sound like Baggy, and Burger didn't sound like Burger. Even though they did get Ma Beagle pretty right. But all in all, I enjoyed the comic and I recommend it. And I look forward to what the next issue has in store. Till next time, see ya.